Well, hey, what's up? Welcome to Freed's First Time Whiskey Reviews. My name is Freed. If you're new to the channel, I'm just your average motherfucker. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. This is Freed's First Time Whiskey Reviews. My name is Freed. I am an average fella that likes to talk about whiskey. And at the end, I'm going to give this whiskey a musical pairing because that is what I do. So today we're checking out the High West Double Rye, or I guess as the label suggests, Double Rye! Exclamation point. They even explain why there's an exclamation point on the back. I'm not going to be one of those dudes that just reads a label to you on camera, so you can just figure that out on your own. So, this is obviously a blend of two different ryes. They're using the 2-year-old MGP 95.5 mash bill, which, if you don't know, that sounded pretentious, apologies. 95% rye, 5% barley in that one. And they're also using their own High West rye, which is at least 6 years old, and they do 80-20. They're doing 80% rye, 20% malted barley, which is cool because in 2018, that's when they started using their own juice, High West. But until then, they were using a 16-year-old Barton rye, which... The community is a bit, they're positive on the whole about it all. I mean, they're kind of bummed that they're not using 16-year-old Barton anymore because, do I need to explain that? And then, but they're kind of excited that High West is finally using their own juice. So it's kind of out with something awesome and in with something awesome, but not as awesome. But on the whole, progress is being made. If I didn't mention it before, High West is based out of Park City, Utah, which is close to home for me because I lived in Salt Lake City for 4 years, which is about a 40-minute drive. And man, I loved it there. I really did. It was a beautiful place to live. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm going to top myself off while we get into the nosing and tasting notes. I think this is relatively inexpensive, and you're probably going to pay between 30 and 40 bucks for this, which is pretty rad. Not a bad price whatsoever. So let's just hop in on the old. Ooh, needs a little warmer wrapper. All right, I think we got her where she needs to be. Don't think I mentioned this before, but this is 46% ABV. So there's that. All right, on the old whiff. Fresh dill, which is always the first thing that hits me with ryes. Getting like a sage. I'm very familiar with sage. Like, I mean fresh out of the ground sage. Because when I worked and lived in Utah, I worked for a wilderness therapy program, and we often would cut branches off sage trees to use for bow drill fire making kits. And I would just rub those leaves against my hands, and it smells so good. So that smell is very tied to my memory, so I'm getting that there big time. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, there's sage mostly, but a lot of other herbs as well. New carpet, which I've always loved that smell. There's like a confectioner's cinnamon type of thing, like a red hot or one of those hot tamales. Quick question, when you were eating hot tamales, when you finished with that box, if they even came in a box for you, because they did for me, did you blow into a box and make it like a kazoo? You missed out if you didn't. I'm getting some like hay covered with caramel. And some root beer. That's a good nose, that's fun. I like that a lot. And the alcohol heat is there, but it just works really well with everything. It doesn't overwhelm anything at all. It's pretty cool. They're all even players. Right on the palate. I bet. Kind of like a bitter herbal. Kind of like a flat, off-brand diet soda, if that makes any sense. Like alfalfa. I used to have hamsters. Alfalfa. Like a Ricola cough drop. Tell me you're not shouting Ricola in your head right now. I will call you a liar if you say no. I'm getting a bit of a menthol, like a minty coolness as well. But then it kind of just goes away. And the finish, I would say, is just surpassing the level of medium. And that's where I'll draw that line. It's bittersweet on the finish. I'm still getting more of that herbal cough drop, which is nice. I've always liked those. And like an attic. Does that make sense? I know I've never tasted an attic, but I can assume I've smelled many an attic, and I can assume that's what it would taste like, I suppose. Right on. So on the whole, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's if you've watched my Bullet Rye video, I don't have a shit ton of experience when it comes to ryes, but in the handful that I've tried, this ranks up there. I really dig it, and for the price, I think it's okay. I think even on the back of the bottle, they're kind of pushing it, not so much pushing it, but they're saying like, hey, you can have it neat, but try it in these cocktails. So I'm wondering if their main purpose for this, their demographic for this, I suppose, are mostly cocktail drinkers, not so much neat whiskey drinkers. I am not a cocktail drinker, so I can't give you any advice on that whatsoever. Cool. So the long and short of it is, for the price, this is pretty decent. It's good to have in your collection if you are a rye guy or you're trying to dabble into ryes. And if you're a cocktail person, apparently this is great for Manhattans and things like that, and old fashions. So there's that. So the song that I've chosen for this is Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots. Not exactly sure of the year. I guess I could have looked that up, but I'm sure it's the 90s. And you don't want to enjoy it because you love Alice in Chains as well. You know, I always thought, and this is probably just a horrible comparison, but I always compared Alice in Chains. Oh, sorry, Stone Temple Pilots being like an Aldi Alice in Chains. But this song is undeniable, and a lot of the songs are undeniable now that I look back on it. It's got a great hook, and I think it pairs really well with this. Have a listen, tell me what you think. There's a link to that song down in the description. Well, the whole song. I'll give you a snippet. And that's that, yeah. So the High West Double Rye. Give it a go. Give it a go, I like it. It's nice. It's very different than what I'm used to, because I'm primarily a Scotch drinker. So it's quite different in a good way. So that's that. So thanks for sticking around to the end. Again, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up, or why not subscribe? What's it gonna hurt? So cool, right on. We'll see you on the next one.